Hey teachers! Welcome back to day 2 of my Literacy Center reboot. So glad to have you here today, and I am so excited about today, y'all. This is going to be such a great training. I can't wait to share all my awesome centers with you and give you some new tips and tricks that you might not have done before and streamline your centers to a well-oiled machine. I mean, gosh, this is so fun for me to be able to spend every single day with y'all. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're hopping on, thank you. It's so good to see you guys. So a couple of things that you might need to know because we have some new people in our group. So my face might freeze on the screen because my Wi-Fi is kind of slow. And so my voice will keep going. Okay. So don't freak out. It is okay. So just know that could be, that could happen. Okay. Hey, Shantuan, I'm so glad you're here. So let's reflect on yesterday's training. Okay. So I like to go back and connect yesterday's lesson with today's lesson, or I should say yesterday's agenda with today's agenda. And I like to do that with the kids too. So whenever I want more rigor and relevance in my lessons, I always try to connect yesterday's lesson to today's lesson to make better connections. So let's reflect on yesterday. I want you to think about something that you learned yesterday that really jumped out at you. That's something that you're going to try in your classroom in January, okay? So think about some things we talked about yesterday could be the bonus bucks, the farm contest. Let's see, the center checklist in the center folder. Lots of other things, the treasure box, the star student, the VIP table, the center templates. So just think about something that really jumped out at you, something that you're going to try, and then comment below and tell us something that really resonated with you from yesterday's training. I would love to know, what really was something really cool for you, something really great. Okay. So just so you know, today is all about my literacy centers, but I'm only going to do like 5 of them today, and then 5 tomorrow, and then 5 the next day. So I'm going to break them up. So there's not so much, so many at one time. At the end of today, if you, or anytime today, if you have a question, please type it in the comments, okay? I will be putting your name in a raffle if you ask a question. And on the 5th day, on Friday, I will be compiling all of your questions into one slideshow, okay? And then I'm going to be answering all those questions. So those teachers who've missed out on any of these other trainings and have missed your questions, because chances are if you have a question, there's another teacher that has the same question, right? Okay. So if you have a question anytime today, you can ask in the comments, okay? Hey, Wendy, I'm so glad you're here. She teaches 1st grade. Yay, that's awesome. So if you're just hopping on, I want you to reflect on yesterday's training, and I want you to tell me in the comments something that really resonated with you, something that you're going to try in your classroom, okay? Hey, Debbie, I'm so glad you're here. All right, so here's day 2. Day 2 agenda is how to manage, what materials I use, and when to change these centers out. Okay, so I'm going to go over my library center, my poetry center, my big book center, my geography center, my art center, and my writing center today, okay? All right. So materials and supplies that you might need for centers. These are suggestions, okay? I'm not the end all be all of literacy centers, but I know what has worked for me for 26 years. So you can certainly use any of these supplies, and you probably already have these things in your classroom, okay, or in your closet. Or maybe you have something that you haven't used and you're trying to figure out what to use it for. So you could have center folders for student accountability. You could have center templates that we went over yesterday for student accountability. Center icons, which are big and small. You want the big ones to put on the center itself, and then you want the small ones to put on your center chart. You can have flexible seating, which includes small desks, small chairs, lap desks, shelves, crates, baskets, scoop chairs, bean bags, pillows, cushions, rugs. You could even have stackable drawers. If you have a stackable drawer that has 3 drawers in a row, you could make that a center. For example, my STEM center has those stackable drawers, and then I put all of the different blocks and Legos and Lincoln Logs in those drawers so the kids can pull them out and play with them. You can also have tubs. I have a lot of tubs, but I don't use the big tubs. I use the small tubs with the lids, okay? You can have a rainbow cart. You know those rainbow carts that have the drawers that you pull out? You can rearrange the drawers however you want to, but on the drawers you could have different activities. For if you want to use a rainbow cart for math, you can have different activities for math. You could have a drawer for in and out. You could have a drawer for bump. Okay, so any activities you can put in rainbow carts. I love rainbow carts because they're small and they're really skinny and thin, so they can stick against the wall in any nook and cranny, right? So those are some things that you might need for centers. You do not have to have a specific place to have your centers. The kids can take that activity and go somewhere else and do it. If you don't have space, okay, they can take the activity to the carpet. They can take the activity to their desk, okay? They do not have to sit there at that center if you don't have space. It is okay. When should I do centers? Well, every teacher's different. Every schedule is different. But you do whatever works for you and your team and your teaching style, okay? These are some times when I've done centers, and I'll tell you which one is my favorite, okay? During intervention time, we call ours a fit time, which is focused instruction group. So that's whenever all the kids are pulled out for GT and speech and special ed and all that stuff. And then the kids that I have left in the classroom, that's when I would do centers. During guided reading, your small group time, if you're pulling reading groups, that's when you can do centers. You can do a rotation, or you can just call the kids up as they are at centers. You can just call them up to your table. Okay, that's what I like to do. Or at the end of the day, if you ever have any free time at the end of the day, let's say you had an assembly and you get back to your classroom, you still have 30 minutes left of the day, and you really don't feel like doing science or social studies or whatever, you could have your kids do centers. Have your kids do centers. You don't have to teach anything. You can just have them go and complete their center pages, and then have them engage in their centers. That's always a fun filler for them to do. But I really like to do my centers during my intervention and my small group reading time. That's when I like to do my centers. But you do what works for you. You do you, okay? So, Wendy says, will there be a handout for what you are presenting? Yes, ma'am. I'm in the process of, are you talking about notes, making notes? You can download this. If you go up to the top corner of the right-hand corner, there's 3 dots, and then you can click on the dots, and then you can download this on your computer. If there is not a download, I will make you guys some handouts, and I'll put it in the file section. No problem. I can certainly do that for y'all. But if you want to download it, see if you can download. There's 3 little dots in the top right-hand corner. Okay? Thank you for the question, Wendy. Okay, how many centers should I have? Whatever works for you and how much classroom space you have. Okay, every classroom's different. Some have no windows, some have a lot of windows, some have big closets, some have little closets. So how much time do you have to set them up? Well, I mean, you could set them up, whenever you have your work day, your teacher work day, or you could do them after school or during your conference period. Are you wanting to change out your centers every week or every month? Well, some teachers do not like to change out their centers at all. So I have a mix of my centers. Some I do change out every month, and some I do not at all. So I have a mix. You do you. Are you willing to take the time to introduce them slowly? Okay, well, that's a big, big question. You have to be able to have the time, make the time to introduce your centers very slowly. Do not rush, okay? If you rush through them, your kids are going to be confused, okay? You want to take your time. And so yesterday I was talking about how I take 22 days to introduce my centers because I have 20 of them. Now, you do not have to have 20 of them. You can pick and choose which of these centers that you like. You probably already have some of these in your room. I just like to give my kids choices. The more choices that they have, the more engaged they're going to be, okay? Because it's their choice. So introducing one center a day is my goal. That's my goal, okay? That's how I really go over all the directions and the materials and the supplies, how to treat the center, how to take care of it, how to clean it up. I read the I can cards to them. I show them the center templates. I'll go through all that in just a minute. If you don't have enough space, you could have centers in tubs or baskets and have your students carry them to the carpet or to their desk. Okay, so this is my lesson plan. Starting the first week of school, which now in January could be the first week of school for you, okay? I start introducing my centers one day at a time. One at a time. I take the time and spend one day for each center. So it takes me about 22 days to introduce all the centers. I have the students get their center folder, their clipboard, and pencil, and sit around that specific center so they know where it is. I show them the icon. I show them the picture on the wall that matches the center. We all sit in front of the center. We all sit there together. Okay. If there's no space for all of us to sit there together, then I will bring that center to the carpet and then we'll all sit on the carpet together. Okay. But it's a whole class thing. It's everybody sits there together. They have their center folder on their clipboard. They have their pencil on their clipboard. Okay. I show them where the rotation board is, the center icons. I hand out the center pages. I hand out the center page that is for that center. We complete it together as a class. And for each center, I will show you what the center pages look like. This helps later when the students are at the center by themselves. They can go back and look at the page they did together with the class if they forget how to do it. Okay? Or they can ask the star student, right? We talked about star student yesterday. This eliminates questions later on too. My students have to whisper in their centers because other students may still be at their desk working on their seat work. And in my class, the students cannot go to centers unless all their work is finished. I talked about that yesterday. By the way, if you haven't watched yesterday's training, after we get done today, you need to go back and watch that because it's all about behavior management, okay? So that's like the underlying goal, to have really, really good behavior management before you start your centers, right? I tell my students to keep all their center pages in their center folder. And at the end of each month, I collect all the pages and I reward them with bonus bucks. Okay? My students love their centers. They work really hard to get there at the end of their time period. They have to finish all their work in my classroom. So I hope that this will help you a little bit streamline your centers so you know exactly what I do. Here's my center rules that I go over with the kids. Always use a whisper voice. And so I have them do this. Psst, 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 psst. Okay, we practice whispering. Some kids don't know how to whisper. They just have a really loud voice. You know those kids, right? Like Decibella and the 6-inch voice. Have you ever read that book? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. But they do not know how to talk softly. They do not know how to whisper, okay? So a really good book to read about voice levels is Decibella and the 6-inch voice, okay? You're going to carry 3 materials with you out to your centers. Before you go to centers, you have to have your clipboard, your green center folder, and your pencil. Okay. And it's so cute. I love watching them. They go to their desk and they get their folder out. They get their clipboard out. They put it all together and they tuck it under their arm. And then they go walk over to the center chart and they look at the center chart and they're trying to figure out where they're going to go. And then they look around the room to see if anybody is at that center. And then they go to that center and they take out one of the pages from the center templates from the center. They clip it on their clipboard. They're ready to go. It is so fun. It's so fun for me to watch them. I love it. I love it. It teaches them responsibility. It really does. Okay, so you're going to check the center chart to see where your magic number is and see where you're going to go that day. Like I said, you might want to watch the video from yesterday if you did not yet. Okay, I go over all of this in that video. Only one student at a center at a time, except for my kitchen center. My kitchen center has 2 chairs. Every single center has 1 chair. Or some of them don't have a chair, and then they have to sit on the floor. Okay? So 1 center at a time. This really alleviates the talking, the playfulness, not staying on task. Okay? It really helps with that a lot. Always read the I can cards at the center that tells you what to do. I'll go over those in just a minute. They are on a ring, and I copy them and I cut them out, laminate them, put them on a ring, and then the kids read the I can cards so they know what to do at their center. You must complete a center page before moving on to a new center. You cannot just play and move on. You have to complete your center page first, okay? So they have to complete their assignment at their center before they move on to the next center, okay? So it's like teaching them, like, first you do this and then this. First and then, okay? So like the must do, for me, the must do is the center page. That's their accountability. The may do is their time playing at the center, okay? It's just real simple, real simple. Once you have completed your center page, you can go back to your desk and color it. Or sometimes they bring their crayon box with them to the center and then they sit there and they color it. That's fine too. That's fine too. And always clean up your center before moving on. You have to clean up your center. So I show them how to close the lids. I have boxes that have labels on them. I show them how to turn the box so the label is to the front. I know I'm very OCD, but this really helps them to stay organized. Okay. And I'll have parents telling me, gosh, Miss Rickman, my daughter is like organizing her room at home and she's getting everything in its place and she's never done that before. I'm like, yay, that's awesome. That's what I want to hear because I want them to be organized. It's a life lesson, right? And then keep all your center pages in your center folder. All the center pages stay in your folder, and then Miss Rickman will can go. I will take out all the pages and then I will staple them together at the end of the month, and then I will count them, and then I'll give them the bonus bucks. They love it. It's so fun for them to come in Monday morning and I have the bonus bucks laying on their desk. I got $20. Oh, I got $25. I got $15. They're so excited. Hey, Susan, let's see. She says, what about your game center? Can 2 go there? Yes. Yes, you can certainly have a game center and you can do 2 people at the game center. That is perfect. Because, yeah, most games, they need 2 players. You just have to remember, they have to remember to whisper. Okay? So remember, they need 4 things. They need pencils, their pencil, their clipboard, their whisper voice, and their center folder. Okay, so the first center I'm going to talk to you about is my library. So did you know that your library can be a center? It can certainly be turned into a center. I mean, you already have a library, I hope. You should, right? If you teach elementary school, you should have a library. So I teach them how to get a book out of certain tubs. The tubs are labeled fairy tales, Jan Brett, ABC books, fiction, nonfiction, favorite authors, Dr. Seuss, all different kinds of genres, okay? They know that whatever book they take out, they have to put it back in the correct tub, okay? So they lay on the floor. There's a carpet on the floor, and they can get a book buddy. And so I have a tub that has all different stuffed animals. They're all farm animals because I have a farmhouse theme. So I have like a sheep and a cow and a horse and a pig, a spider, just things like that. So they can grab a book buddy, and this little boy, you can see him laying on the carpet with his book buddy, and he's reading to her. So sweet. Just so sweet. I love it. Okay, so that's what they do. Only one person at the library at a time. And then these buckets are the ones that I have bought off of Amazon. These are really sturdy. They're called 4-gallon storage bins. They come in all different colors. And if you look at my slide here, they're all teal. And they're very sturdy. I've had these for 6 years now. I've had them for 6 years, and they have not cracked. They have not broken or anything. They are so sturdy. I love them. So this is the I Can cards for the library. So at the front it says Library Center, and it says I can read to myself and read to a buddy. I can complete my center page. I can clean up my center. And then this is the center template. So they're going to write their name. They're going to write the title of their book, the author of the book, the genre of the book, and then they're going to illustrate the beginning, the middle, and the end. Now, I tell them, if you love to write stories, you can certainly write sentences in these boxes. If you want to do a picture and a sentence, do it. Okay, and I will have some kids that don't even draw a picture. They just want to write. They just want to write the story. So that is my library center. I also have these labels that are in my TPT store. I can link them if you want. I can link them in the comments afterwards if we're done. Just let me know. And so I have like historical fiction, nonfiction, Jan Brett, Kevin Hanks, Laura Numeroff, Jan Brett, math books, social studies books. I have all of these labels that are on my tubs, if you can see. And I also have the letters A, B, C, all the way to O, levels that you can put on your tubs. And that's what they look like. Okay. I also have these genre cards that are on the wall. So I have poetry, legend, fiction, nonfiction, realistic fiction, biography, all these genre cards. So what I do with these genre cards is whenever I teach a genre, I take the card down and I teach it to them, and then I put the card back up so they know what the card means. Okay. So I just leave them up there, and then I just take them down as I use them and then put them back up. Let's see. Wendy says, how many kids do you have to only 1-2 kids in a center at a time? Wendy, I have 18 kids, but I have 20 centers. Okay. So they can choose 4 kids have 4 choices of centers a week. So each kid can do 4 centers a week. Okay. Now, not all kids will be at the centers at the same time, because they're working on their seat work, and their seat work is their schema notebook, which is reading comprehension. That's a whole other training. But my schema notebook is my reading comprehension. So once they're done with that, the STAR student checks their work, checks their blue folder. They might have work to finish. Okay. Some kids will go to centers after about 15 minutes, and then they have a whole 30 minutes of centers. Some kids won't go to centers until 15 minutes in, and then they only have like 10 minutes of centers. So it all depends on if they finish their work. Okay. And I will just call them to my reading table. I'll call them to my reading table as I need them. So I'm not really on a rotation, but 1 student per center, except for the kitchen. And if you have a center that has 2 chairs, go for it. Just make sure that they know how to whisper. Okay. Okay. The next center I'm going to teach you about is geography, which is really fun. If you love to travel around the world, go to different places, different states, different countries, start collecting trinkets, start collecting flags, start collecting postcards from that place that you visited. And then you can make little boxes down here at the bottom. These are my little tubs of my countries around the world. So I have Holland, England, Sweden, Spain, Mexico, Italy, France, Russia, United States, Germany. Okay. And so inside of these little boxes are like figurines. There's coins from that country. There's a flag. There's a postcard. Just pictures. Might be a little book of the country. Just little things that they can look at. And so I've been collecting things over the years to put in my geography center. So if you love to travel, you might already have these things in your classroom. But you can make it into a center, make it into a geography center. And then you can put a puzzle. You can have puzzles of the states or puzzles of the continents. A puzzle of your town. Okay. You can have a map of your town, a map of your country or state, whatever state you're in, and then have a globe here so they can look at the globe. I also have a tub that has different continent books. So I have like, 7 different books for the 7 continents, and then they can look at the books to look at what the continent looks like. And then I have these little children around the world, these little dolls. And so in each tub, I also have these dolls so they can see how they might dress. So you can see this little girl right here. She's kneeling down. There's no chair here. She's kneeling down and she's opening one of the tubs. She's looking at Holland. And remember how I said that I teach my kids how to put the word to the front of the box when they put it away? See how the words are to the front here? So they have to put them in the front so the other kids can see what they are. Okay? It just helps with organization. Okay? So I teach them how to take the things out of the box. We all sit together near the center when I introduce the center. We all have our clipboards. We all have our templates. We're all doing the center together at the same time. Okay? And like I would pretend that I'm playing at the center and I'm showing them what it looks like to play with the center. And then I'm showing them how to do the center page. And then I show them how to clean up. So it takes 30 minutes a day, every day at the beginning of the year. It takes me 22 days to share how I do all of my centers. Let me go back real quick to the library. When I teach the library, we all sit on the floor. The whole class. We sit on the floor. We talk about the center. We talk about how to treat books. Okay. I also do mini lessons during Reader's Workshop, how to treat books also. And then they all have their clipboard and pencil, and then I give them, all of them, the same template. They all have the same center page that we draw the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I read them a story. I sit there and I read them a story in the library. I make sure it's a short story so it doesn't last too long. And then we all illustrate it together. Same thing with geography. I, take out one of the tubs. I show them how to open the lid, and then I show them how to put it back so the word is to the front. Okay. And then we all sit together, and these are what the I can cards say. For Geography Center, it says, I can look at maps and globes. I can complete my center page. I can clean up my center. Now, if you'll notice on my I can cards, these last 2 ones right here, the last 2 sentences are always going to be the same. They're always the same. The only one that changes is the second card. That's the only one that changes. I want to keep it as the same as possible. The same thing. I will complete my center page. I will clean up my center. Those 2 things are the most important things after they've done their center and they're ready to go. Okay? So here's some materials and supplies for geography. You can have your I can cards, your center templates, your globe, your continents puzzle, countries around the world boxes, which is United States, Mexico, Russia, Germany, Netherlands, Italy, Canada, England, whatever country or states you want. Trinkets, postcards, maps, flags, world books, and dolls around the world, children around the world. So their center page looks like this, and it says, illustrate your favorite country or continent in the Geography Center. So let's say that they take out Germany, the Germany box, and let's say they're going to draw the flag. They're going to draw the Germany flag here. They're going to color it. And then it says, what is the name of your country or continent? They're going to write Germany. Is your place a country or continent? Okay, so they're going to write country or continent. So, and I teach them during calendar time, we have a continent song. It goes like this. Tell me the continents, tell me the continents, tell me if you can. North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa. Don't forget Australia. Don't forget Antarctica. Tell me the continents, tell me the continents, tell me if you can. So they learn that song, and so whenever they're at the Geography Center, they can sing that song in their head. And if their state or country is not a continent that they know in the song, they can put country on there. But if it is a continent, then they can write continent. So we do that every day in calendar. So that's Geography Center. It's really fun, and it teaches them how to read a map, how to read, how to figure out places on the map and globes. And you can even have a compass rose, a real compass in there that points north. You can even have a compass in there and all kinds of things for geography. It's really, really fun. Okay. Oh, and I was going to tell you that geography does not change ever. It's always the same all year long. Okay, we're going to move on to poetry. So poetry changes every week, but the only thing I change on the poems, the Poetry Center, is the poem. I have made all of these big poems with butcher paper, and I laminate them. So I just like I've typed out the poem on my computer in a really big font. I copy the font, copy the words, I cut them out, and then I glue them on the butcher paper. And then I add a really cute picture on there. Or what you can do is you can take a poem, you can blow it up on your poster maker at school, laminate it, and then you can hang that in your poetry center. Okay? So whatever works for you, okay? And I have a trash can that is full of my poems that I roll up, okay? And then I put all my poems in the little trash can. And so every week I change the poem. So they can sit here at the desk. I have a desk. And I have little books of poems. I have nursery rhyme books that they can read. I have a tub full of poetry books. Laura Numeroff has poems. Dr. Seuss has poems. Jack Prelutsky has poems. Some of their favorites are like Llama Llama. Is Your Mama a Llama? There's lots of poetry books that you can put in your poetry center. So they use a pointer and they can read the poem. That's the big poem. Now on Fridays, I have what's called focus poetry. My focus poetry is whenever we talk about the poem, we read it together. It's a shared reading experience. And so all the kids will sit on the floor in front of the poem and we talk about the capitals, the periods, the question marks, all the grammar, all the punctuation. And then I give them the poem to glue in their journal. You can see their journal right here. They illustrate and they recreate a mental image. Okay. So they know how to do the Poetry Center because we do it every Friday. Every Friday we sit there and we do it together. And every Friday it's a new poem. So their poetry journal is full of poems when the school year ends. It's fabulous. I love it. But yeah, they can read the big poem. I have lots of little poems also. And I also have pointers. Okay. So here's what the I can cards say. They say, I can read and write poetry. Okay. I can complete my center page. I can clean up my center. Okay. So materials and supplies for poetry, you can use your I can cards. Now, by the way, these I can cards are in your file section. If you look under the Launching Literacy Center resource, these I can cards are all in there. Okay. There's two different color schemes. There's a farmhouse, which is the one that I use. Then there's also a rainbow one, the black background with the polka dots. You need your center templates, pointers, poetry books, big poems, punctuation ladders, parts of speech ladders, small pocket chart, and cut up poems, and a focus poetry notebook example. So here's a bucket of pointers. You can order some on Amazon, or you can make some yourself. I'll show you later on this week how I make my pointers. And then you can have a pocket chart with a poem. There are many books that you can get that have the cut up poems that you can put in the pocket chart that are really fun. And then this is the Poetry Center template. It says, write your favorite poem that you read today. So they're going to write a poem right here, and then they're going to draw a picture of it. Now, I tell them you do not have to write the whole poem. Okay, if it's a long poem, you don't have to write the whole thing. Just write a couple sentences. It's fine. It is okay, depending on how much time they have. Now, sometimes they're going to write the whole space. They're going to fill the whole space with a poem. And that's fine if they have enough time to do that. My kids love to write because we do writer's workshop. They love writing. So they want to write as many times a day that they can. They love to write. So then they have to draw a picture and color it. And remember, they have to have it shaded, outlined, and colored to get a bonus book, okay? So if you guys have any more questions, please ask, okay? All right, big books. Big books does not change. Big books is really easy. You just get a big book stand, put your big books in there. You need a tub if you want to use book buddies. My big books are right next to my library and my poetry center, so then the book buddies can be used for poetry, library, big books. So the book buddies are in a central location within those 3 centers, so they can use their book buddies however they want. So they're just going to sit on the floor and they're going to read their big book with their book buddy. Okay. Now, if you don't have a big book stand, you can use a laundry basket, one of those tall laundry baskets, and put your big books in there. Okay. For the kids to use. They can also use a pointer. Okay. You can have pointers there. I tell them they can use the pointers at the poetry center to point to their story. Okay. So the I can cards say, I can read my favorite book. I can complete my center page. I can clean up my center. Okay. So they can read the I can cards, and then they're going to read a book, their favorite book. And then they can write their name on the center page, the title, the author, the genre, and illustrate their favorite part, and then write a sentence about it. Okay. So when I introduce the center, we all sit in front of the big book stand. The center. I read a book to them right there. Or maybe it's a book I've already read to them during on another day. Because I read a lot of big books also during my mini lessons for reading and writing and math and science. And so maybe it's a book that I've already read, which is even better because that really saves time. So then we'll just go through the book again real quick and look at the pictures, and then we'll illustrate our favorite part and write a sentence about it. So for the center, you might need the I can cards. You will need the center templates. You might need a big book stand to hold your big books. Of course, you're going to need big books. I know every teacher I know has gobs and gobs of big books. You can use a laundry basket if you don't have a big book stand. You can use pointers, and then you can use book buddies. Okay. I know Kohl's has these really cute book buddies that go with different stories, like the Give a Mouse a Cookie, the Clifford Biscuit, the Rainbow Fish. They have all those different book buddies at Kohl's that you can get for your center. Let's see. Shantuan says, "Is there any particular way you assign book buddies?" No, not really. They just pick out whichever one they want, but they have to take care of it. And they can't be throwing it around. I say, if you're using violence with my toys, one strike and you're out. Okay? And remember, if they're not using the center the correct way, they've got to put their head down for the rest of the center time for that day. And so they can take their center page with them to their desk, and they can finish their center page at their desk. But they cannot sit at the center anymore. Okay? So I always tell them no violence. When you're with a book buddy, you have to treat it nicely, and you're treating it like a baby, okay? You treat it nicely and respect it. So I just have a tub, and you can use a laundry basket or small little round tub with your book buddies, okay? Great question, y'all. Great questions. Okay, my art center does not change. My art center does not change at all. So a couple things that I have in my art center that one kid can go here at a time. They stand here next to the art center, or you could have a desk with chairs, a table with chairs, whatever you like. But mine, they stand. You can have an easel where they stand and they paint. You can have them paint if you want to mess with paints and water. That's up to you. You could have like the little smocks that they use. You could have them wear a smock to paint. You can have like a rainbow cart full of colored paper for them to paint on, different colored construction paper. I have stencils. So I have this white container that has these slits in it. So I have all these different colored stencils that they can draw animals on their center page. I also have a book that's called Read Right Now, Draw Right Now. And so I pick a page for them to draw. And so then they can learn how to draw the three little pigs, or they can learn how to draw a pumpkin, or draw a Christmas tree, or draw a snowman. So there's lots of different pages that I switch. But typically my art center does not change. I always have crayons. I always have markers there for them to use. And then this little box that has all the little pictures, the little photographs right here. This is so cool. So I copy all of the students' photographs, their fall picture that we took. I always copy their picture. I Xerox them. I copy about 20 of them. I cut them apart, and then I put them in this little box. I got this little container from the Container Store, or Walmart actually has them too. And then they all have numbers. My kids all have magic numbers. And then I put the kids' picture in their magic number. Now they can use these pictures to create a picture that they painted or that they did on their center page. They can use those pictures to glue onto whatever they're making. So that's really fun. I also use those little pictures for their craftivities that I hang in the hallway. We put a picture on those too. And then I have this little drawer, stackable drawer. I have googly eyes, I have toothpicks, and I have beads. And I tell them they can only use 5 beads at a time, or 5 toothpicks at a time, and 2 googly eyes at a time to glue on their center page. So here's some things that you can have at your art center. Your I can cards, which say I can draw, paint, or color. I can complete my center page. I can clean up my center. See how those 2 always stay the same. All right, you can have a drawer that has the different supplies such as pens, Post-it notes, tape, clothespins, all the different kinds of tools that they could use for the art center. Or you could have colored tubs full of crayons for them to use. This is also my class stash of crayons. So if a kid lost a crayon, or their crayon, doesn't work anymore, then I tell them go to the art center and go get a new crayon. So that's kind of like my class stash. Same with the markers. If they run out of a marker, or the marker breaks or whatever, I say go to the art center and go get a new one. But they have to show me the other one first. There has to be evidence that the other one doesn't work. Okay, so you can use your watercolors and cups. You can have assorted crayons, colored pencils, markers, different shaped scissors, construction paper or cardstock, glue or glue stick, popsicle sticks, beads, toothpicks, pipe cleaners, googly eyes, an art easel, and then the Draw Right Now book that looks like this right here at the bottom. And then you can have jewels also for them to glue on. So here's their center page. So they actually have 2 choices at the art center. They can create a design on the art center template, or they can use the colored construction paper, okay, to make a design. Okay, and then what we do for the art center, we all sit down next to the art center. I show them everything. How to clean up, how to put it away, how to take care of it. And we all do the center page all together. Okay. Okay, so moving on to writing. Writing is so fun, and my writing center changes each month. My writing center does not take the place of Writer's Workshop. Okay, I just want to make that clear. Writer's Workshop, which a lot of you have already seen my training on Writer's Workshop, but Writer's Workshop is whenever they're taking their story through the process writing. Okay, they're using different templates to publish a story. This writing center is completely different. Okay, this is more of a free write. This is fun writing. Not that Writer's Workshop isn't fun, but this one has a lot of different types of writing that they can do. So I change this out each month, okay, because I have monthly writing centers. But here's the thing. All of the templates are the same. Once you teach the templates, they're all the same for the whole year. The only thing that changes is the color decor, because the color decor matches the holiday. Okay, and I'll show you some pictures of what I'm talking about. So It says, what can I write about? So they can write a letter. They can write a sticker story. They can write a poem. They can write a shape book. They can write a list. They can write a card. They can write a how-to story. They can write about their favorite holiday. They can write a postcard. They can write a book. So I have these posters up on the wall, and I also have examples, okay? The examples show them what they could be writing. They don't have to copy my example. They just have to look at it, okay? So this first one up here was the one from August, and this one down here is the one for September. So the one for August has a pencil theme, and the one for September has a farmhouse theme, okay? Now, like I said, every month, just the color scheme changes, okay, to match the holiday. So in Writing Center, it's for the I Can cards, it says, I can write a letter, a story, or a card to my friends. I can complete my center page. I can clean up my center. So materials and supplies you might need are the different shaped scissors, which are really fun. I Can cards, shape books, sticker stories, making a list, writing a poem, my favorite holiday, how-to books, cards, postcards, mailbox, writing pencil, I Can posters, assorted crayons, colored pencils and markers, different shaped scissors, construction paper, cardstock, stickers, assorted plastic tray for class photos. If you want those things, you don't have to have all of those things. There's the shape book. This is a little kitty shape book that I have in my farmhouse writing resource. Okay, so I'm going to go through the different months with you so you can see the Writing Center, how it changes. But like I said, the posters have the same genres. There's always going to be writing a letter. There's always going to be a sticker story. There's always going to be a shape book, okay? But just the templates, the color scheme, theme changes, okay? So this is the one for September. This is my farmhouse theme. This is the one for October, okay? So it says spooky writing, okay? And then here's the letter. Here's the list. Here's the invitation. Oh, and I added an invitation for October. So I share with them what that is. I can write a shape book. I can write a sticker story. I can write a how-to story. I can write a card. I can write a poem. So then I have a little shelf that has a drawer, that have stackable drawers. In the drawers, I have stickers. I have Post-it notes. I have cards that are all the theme of the month, okay? So if they want to write a card, they pull out a card, they pull out the envelope, and then they write the card. If they want to use a Post-it note, they take off one Post-it note, and then they write a sweet little letter to their friend. Or they can use the writing templates that I have there. This is the one for Thanksgiving, for November. Again, here is a letter, and this one has a recipe on it. Recipe, poem, shape book, sticker story, invitation, card, and a list. The toppers change, just the color scheme changes, okay? And the topics that they can write about are changed according to the holiday and the theme. I also have vocabulary cards in these resources. I have a list of cards that I cut out and I put on a ring, so they can read the different vocabulary words for each holiday, each month. So for Thanksgiving, there could be turkey, pilgrim, Native American, thankful, pumpkin pie. I mean, there's different words they can use in their writing. Then there's Christmas. Okay, so again, the toppers are changed. The Christmas theme is there. I have a little tub of markers, pins, like Christmas pins. You can have different holiday pins. And then here's my little mailbox with Santa. They can mail a card to Santa. Or they can mail a card to one of their friends. There's my little stackable drawers right here. Okay, and then on the side are my little templates for the examples. Okay, so here's the invitation, here's the card, the recipe, the shape book, how-to book, a letter, a list, a sticker story. Okay, then there's January, here's winter. Same thing, just now it's snowman, now it's winter. Okay, I can write a recipe, I can write a card, I can write a letter, I can write a poem, how-to story, they can write how to make hot chocolate. a sticker story. Now, for the sticker story, I tell them they can only use 5 stickers at a time. They cannot use more than 5. Okay? Save some for your friends so their friends have stickers too. There's a shape book. Oh, I love the shape book for January. It's a snow globe. It's so cute. And then the winter story. So here's the templates at the bottom here. So on the shape books, I have let's see, I have a snowman shape book, I have the snow globe shape book, and I have the hot chocolate shape book. Okay, here's Valentine's Day, Valentine's February. All right, so those of you who know about my subscription box, one of your choices that you can choose is your holiday writing center. And if you choose that one, this is going to start in January. So this is going to be your first holiday writing center that you're going to get in your subscription box. And it's going to be already laminated for you and cut out for you. The templates are going to be already there for you. You're already going to have stickers. You're already going to have the Post-it notes. You're already going to have the pins, the Valentine pins. Okay. So all of this will be in your subscription box. I also will have the examples here also. But if you choose to make your own examples, that is perfectly fine. You don't have to use mine. Okay. If you want to make them your own, that is okay. So my subscription box is going to start in January, and I'll tell you more about that in just a minute. Okay. But this is going to be your first one if you choose to do the holiday writing. Okay. Because there's going to be Valentine's Day, Easter, back to school, and then Halloween and Christmas. Okay. Here's the March one for St. Patrick's Day. My Lucky Writing, same thing, same templates, same concept, just different things to write about. Here's my lucky list. I can write a letter. I can write a how-to story, a lucky poem, my postcard, my card, my sticker story, and my shape book. The shape book is the pot of gold. Okay, you can see the pot of gold at the bottom here. Then I have a little black pot of gold where I put the markers, the pins, the St. Patrick's Day pins. Okay, so, and then there's Easter. This is going to be the second subscription box that you can get. So you're probably wondering, like, Kara, why aren't you doing every single month? Well, since this is my first year, my first time doing subscription boxes, I don't want to overwhelm myself. However, next year, okay, if you've already been a customer and you've already gotten the Valentine's and the Easter, then the following year, then if you choose to get the other holiday writing, then I can send you the other ones next year, okay? So it'll be like every other month, okay? So next year could be January, and then March, and then May, and then, what is it, September? No, yeah, September and November. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So I'm only doing half of them this year, and then I'll do half of them next year. So eventually you'll get all of them. Okay. You just have to wait a little bit, but I'm so excited to offer this for y'all. And all you have to do is just set it up because it's already going to be made for you. Okay. It's already going to be cut out for you. The pens are going to be in there. The Post-it notes are going to be in the box. The stickers are going to be in the box. I mean, the templates, everything's going to be in the box. It's going to be so fabulous. If I were a first year teacher, I would really love this option to get a box that has my center ready to go. I would really love that. Same with math, but we'll talk about math tomorrow. Okay. So same with Easter. So we have a shape book, which is an Easter egg. I can make a list. I can write a card. I can write a how-to story, postcard, sticker story, poem, and a letter. And then the last one is May, which is Mother's Day. Mother's Day tea time writing. This is really fun too. So it's all Mother's Day themed. Postcard, invitation. They can write an invitation to a tea party. A shape book is the teapot, tea kettle. The sticker story can be about a flower garden or whatever. So the card, how-to story, a poem, a list, and a letter. So all the templates are here at the bottom. And then I have the stickers and the Post-it notes and everything that's with the center. Okay? Ooh, that's really, really dark. I'm going to step away for just a second and turn my light on. Okay, there we go. Man, that got dark really quick. So, you guys, if you have a question about anything that I taught you today, make sure that you ask in the comments. And remember, if every time you ask a question, I'm going to compile all your questions in a big Q&A at the very, very end of our coaching week, which is Friday. Okay? So anything you ask, I'm going to put together in a slideshow. So, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a teacher membership. And some of you watching are already in my teacher membership. So, every day this week, I'm going to share something new with you about my teacher membership. If you're interested in joining, I have 3 levels. Okay, I'm adding a 3rd level this year. Level 1 is $20 a month. Level 1 is the basic plan. So the basic plan includes 400 of my TPT resources. And in the membership, it's divided into months because I'm a theme person. So you have January resources, February resources, March, April, May, and then you have back to school. And then you have September, October, November, December. And then you have Reader's Workshop resources. Then you have Writer's Workshop resources. You have Literacy Center resources. A lot of the resources, all the resources that I'm sharing with you in the file section are all in my membership. Okay? Plus there's a lot more, okay, that I haven't shared with y'all yet. So level 1 is $20. All it is the basic plan where you get 400 of my resources. That's a lot of resources, y'all. It's a lot. So when you are planning, the whole point of this teacher membership is to make your planning a lot easier. So you are not scrambling every Sunday trying to find ideas, trying to find lessons, trying to find interactive notebooks, trying to find anchor charts. The whole point of this is to streamline your classroom. So you don't have to search TPT. You don't have to search Pinterest. You don't have to go on Google and search, okay? It's all in one place for the whole year. For the whole year, okay? I have thematic units that are in here that I've already laid out the whole unit for you for 2 weeks with anchor charts, with interactive notebooks, with suggested mentor text. I mean, it's all there for you. It's all there, okay? So that's the basic plan. And then level 2 is the basic plan plus you have 3 courses, okay? 3 courses, which is $30 a month. Okay, level 2 is the basic plus the courses. So you have courses such as Writer's Workshop, how to launch Writer's Workshop, like from scribbles to stories. That course is worth 6 PD hours. You also have Math Workshop Magic, which is how to launch your math centers, math workshop. That's also 6 hours worth of PD credit. You also have my boot camp, my back to school boot camp, which is worth 6 hours as well. And so the boot camp has the first 10 days of writing, the first 10 days of reading, the first 10 days of math, the first 10 days of phonics, the first 10 days of science, the first 10 days of social studies, plus more behavior management, okay? So that's level 2. That's $30 a month. And then level 3, and then you, remember, you have 400 resources in there for level 2. A lot of you guys watching today are already in level 2, which is awesome. So then there's level 3. Okay, so level 3 is my basic plan plus the courses plus level 2 plus the subscription box. Okay, that's $40 a month. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in the comments for you guys if you want to check it out. No pressure. If you do not think that this is good for you, that's fine. But I will tell you that the teachers that are in the membership, they really enjoy it. I know Susan's in the membership. I know Shantuan's in the membership. I know Debbie's in the membership. And I hope you guys are enjoying it. Now, if you are already in level 2 and you want to bump up to level 3, send me a message. What I can do is I can cancel your level 2. I can cancel it, and then you can subscribe to level 3. So there's no overlap. Okay? There's no overlap at all. If you're in level 1 and you want to go to level 2 because you want the courses, then I will unsubscribe you from level 1, and then you can go to level 2, or you can go to level 3. Whatever you want to do, or you can stay the way you are. Okay? So I already put a link in the comments. It's a Kajabi link. And if you click on that, you can just check out the 3 levels. Okay? The first 7 days, if you choose, the first 7 days are free. Okay? The first 7 days you can have a trial run for free for my membership until if you decide it's for you or not. Okay? So tomorrow I'm going to go into more detail about what my membership includes. Okay? Because there's a lot more. I just don't want to overwhelm you guys because it's already 6 o'clock. It's already been an hour. So you have just earned another hour of PD credit today. Yay! Isn't that awesome? So tomorrow's agenda is going to be how to manage, when to change out, and what materials that I use for these centers. I'm going to teach you my kitchen center. Love my kitchen center. My math center, which is another subscription box. And then my calendar center, my felt board center, my read and write the room center, my word work center, and my author center. Okay? I'm going to teach you those tomorrow. And if you have a question, please post it in the comments, or you can post it as a new question in our Facebook group. That way more teachers will see it. Okay? If you haven't watched training from yesterday, go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. It's really, really good. Okay? All right. So I love you guys. Have a great evening. And tomorrow I'll see you guys at 10 o'clock in the morning, Central Standard Time. Okay? I better get some sleep so I can get up in the morning and teach you guys again. So I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.